Topic 5. Stakeholder Management. Stakeholder management is the strategic process of identifying, engaging, influencing, and maintaining productive relationships with individuals and groups that affect or are affected by an organization's activities and strategic decisions. In today's interconnected business environment, organizational success depends not only on operational excellence and financial performance, but also on the ability to align the interests of shareholders, employees, customers, suppliers, regulators, communities, lenders, business partners, and society. For modern chief financial officers, CFOs, stakeholder management has become a critical leadership competency that supports corporate strategy, enterprise transformation, governance, risk management, and sustainable value creation. Leading executive CFO programs emphasize that finance leaders have evolved beyond traditional financial stewardship to become strategic partners who communicate with diverse stakeholder groups, build trust, manage expectations, and facilitate enterprise-wide decision-making. CFOs regularly engage with boards of directors, institutional investors, banks, rating agencies, auditors, regulators, business unit leaders, technology partners, and employees. Their effectiveness increasingly depends on the ability to balance competing stakeholder interests while supporting long-term corporate objectives. Stakeholder management begins with stakeholder identification and mapping. Organizations identify internal stakeholders such as shareholders, employees, management teams, and boards of directors, as well as external stakeholders including customers, suppliers, financial institutions, governments, regulators, local communities, strategic partners, and environmental groups. Each stakeholder possesses different expectations, influence, priorities, and levels of interest in organizational activities. Understanding these differences enables executives to design appropriate engagement strategies and communication approaches. An important framework for stakeholder management evaluates stakeholders based on their power and interest. High-power, high-interest stakeholders such as boards, investors, and executive leadership require active engagement and continuous communication. Stakeholders with lower influence may require periodic updates or targeted consultation depending on strategic initiatives and business impact. This structured approach helps organizations prioritize relationship management efforts while allocating communication resources efficiently. For CFOs, stakeholder management is closely connected with strategic communication and executive influence. Finance leaders translate financial information into business insights that help stakeholders understand organizational performance, strategic priorities, investment decisions, and future growth opportunities. Effective communication strengthens transparency, improves credibility, and enhances stakeholder confidence in executive leadership. CFOs increasingly serve as trusted advisors who bridge finance, strategy, operations, and governance through clear and objective communication. Investors and capital markets represent one of the most significant stakeholder groups for finance leaders. Institutional investors increasingly evaluate organizations not only on earnings and cash flow but also on capital allocation discipline, digital transformation, sustainability performance, governance quality, and long-term strategic positioning. CFOs therefore communicate financial performance alongside enterprise strategy, innovation initiatives, environmental, social, and governance (ESG) objectives, and long-term value creation plans to strengthen investor confidence and support access to capital. Stakeholder management also plays a central role in organizational transformation. Digital transformation, restructuring, mergers and acquisitions, strategic partnerships, and sustainability initiatives often create uncertainty among employees, customers, suppliers, regulators, and investors. Successful transformation requires proactive stakeholder engagement that explains the rationale for change, communicates expected benefits, addresses concerns, and builds organizational commitment. Finance leaders support these initiatives by providing credible financial evidence, performance metrics, and strategic narratives that reinforce transformation objectives. Supplier and business partner relationships have become increasingly important as organizations participate in global business ecosystems. CFOs collaborate with procurement, operations, and legal teams to establish partnerships that optimize costs, improve supply chain resilience, manage financial risks, and support innovation.
Long-term collaborative relationships often generate greater value than purely transactional arrangements by encouraging joint investment, knowledge sharing, and operational integration. Regulatory authorities and government institutions also represent critical stakeholders. CFOs ensure compliance with financial reporting standards, taxation requirements, capital market regulations, ESG disclosure expectations, and corporate governance obligations. Transparent engagement with regulators reduces compliance risk, while strengthening organizational reputation and operational stability. Digital technologies have transformed stakeholder management through real-time communication platforms, customer analytics, artificial intelligence, enterprise dashboards, and social media engagement. Organizations increasingly leverage digital tools to monitor stakeholder sentiment, analyze customer behavior, track investor expectations, measure employee engagement, and identify emerging reputational risks. Data-driven stakeholder management enables more responsive decision-making and stronger relationship development across multiple stakeholder groups. Stakeholder management is closely linked with enterprise risk management and corporate governance. Poor stakeholder relationships may increase operational disruption, reputational damage, regulatory intervention, customer attrition, or financing constraints. Effective engagement reduces uncertainty by promoting transparency, trust, collaboration, and proactive issue resolution. Boards increasingly expect executive teams to integrate stakeholder considerations into strategic planning, investment decisions, sustainability initiatives, and risk management frameworks. Environmental, social, and governance (ESG) considerations have further expanded stakeholder expectations. Organizations are increasingly expected to demonstrate responsible environmental practices, ethical governance, workforce development, diversity and inclusion, community engagement, and sustainable supply chain management. CFOs play a key role in measuring ESG performance, integrating sustainability into corporate strategy, and communicating progress to investors, regulators, and society. The Global Competency Framework identifies communication, influence, leadership, collaboration, governance, business partnering, stakeholder management, and strategic thinking as essential competencies for executive finance professionals. Modern CFOs are expected to build trusted relationships across stakeholder groups, communicate strategic insights effectively, support collaborative decision-making, and align diverse interests with long-term enterprise value creation and organizational sustainability. In today's complex and interconnected global economy, stakeholder management has become a strategic leadership capability that extends far beyond communication. Organizations whose finance leaders successfully engage stakeholders, build trust, balance competing interests, and integrate stakeholder perspectives into strategic decision-making are better positioned to strengthen governance, accelerate transformation, manage enterprise risk, and achieve sustainable long-term value creation.